Hey YouTube, this is Steve from Average Joe's Fantasy Football. And we've got another Dynasty rankings video for you guys. This will be now for the tight end position. Again, there's not many, so I'm only doing the top 12 tight ends in Dynasty that will help you guys obviously build the right team for whether it be a win now or of course win for the future. So let's make sure we jump right into that one. Okay, so if you look at my list right here, you've got 12 through 7. My number 12 spot's gonna be Mike Gesicki. Look, Mike Gesicki does not get enough love in the fantasy world, which is kind of crazy because he's a very, very consistent tight end. He's one of the top young tight ends in this league. Obviously, he's been around a little bit longer than some of these others I'm going to mention, but I like Mike Gesicki for this reason. One, he's still going to be a pretty heavily targeted tight end with Tua. Again, Tua is not that deep pass quarterback that a lot of people are hoping he will be, and that's okay. That doesn't need to happen in this offense. This offense is very quick. You got two good receivers on the outside, which is going to open up the middle of the field for Gesicki, which is why I think this is actually an improvement with the fact that you added a Tyreek Hill. You've got Waddle on the outside. You've got some obviously good pass catching running backs in the backfield. Then you got Gesicki. I actually don't think it hurts him that much. I think it opens up the middle of the field, and I think it opens up the red zone for him. So I like him at number 12. Number 11, I have Kmet. A lot of people love Kmet. You probably have him a little bit higher in this ranking, and some I've seen him actually as of like 8 or 9. And a couple other websites I've visited and but for me, Kmet, I think is in the perfect spot at number 11. I think he will improve when they start to add a little bit more weapons to the Chicago Bears, but I like what he was receiving. Again, he's the second heaviest receiving target option for the Chicago Bears. You've obviously got Darnell Mooney, Cole Kmet, and then David Montgomery. Those are your top 3. And Cole Kmet's got the talent to be a good pass-catching tight end. And I think with the growth of Justin Fields, I think this is only going to increase. Again, these rankings will always change, but right now I have Cole Kmet at a number 11. Number 10, I have Dawson Knox. I knocked him down a little bit because obviously the signing of O.J. Howard does affect Knox a little bit, but I don't think too much. Knox's performance last year, I will say, is a little bit of an outlier. He is not going to duplicate what he did last year, especially when it came to the red zone and touchdowns. But I do think he's going to get a lot of targets. Obviously, losing Emmanuel Sanders, Cole Beasley's gone. Those are a lot more options that now allows Dawson Knox to be part of it. Again, O.J. Howard is my only concern of why I have Knox a little bit less. I still think Knox is going to be one of those top 10, which is why I have him right at that 10th mark, because I do think he is right there. Number 9, I got Pat Freiermuth, who I love. I absolutely love. The only reason I'm have any concern for Freiermuth is the fact that the quarterback position. Nobody knows exactly who's going to be the starter. You hear rumors of, can he pick his start, playing with the third stringers, but then he was going to be the starter. Then you got Trubisky, who was signed and obviously he's hoping and expecting to be the starter. And then, of course, there's still Mason Rudolph. So there's still some quarterback questions. Obviously, when we get closer to August, September, we'll hopefully have those answers and hopefully for the full season. And that might change my ranking on Freiermuth. But I love Freiermuth's talent. I love what he can bring. He is a little more athletic than Heath Miller, if you guys remember Heath Miller for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I like him a lot. Number 8, I've got Dallas Goedert. A little bit of his age is a factor in this one. But he's still super talented. You still got, obviously, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith on the outside. A lot of it's going to come down to what is, Hurts going to do. Is Jalen Hurts going to be a little more accurate? Is he going to be more confident in his passing game? That is going to play a big factor in Dallas Goedert, but I still think he's one of those top tier tight ends. Number 7, I have Dalton Schultz. Right now, Schultz is dealing with his contract situation, which kind of worries me for the future as far as the dynasty goes. In redraft, I might actually put Schultz a little bit higher because realistically, losing Cooper, Gallup being hurt, Schultz is really going to be the second best option, obviously minus the running backs, behind CeeDee Lamb. So I like him, especially a little bit higher in redraft. But as far as dynasty, my only concern is where's he going to be in the next year or two, because they're still dealing with that contract situation. He came out of nowhere last year. He's very super talented. I watched a lot of games of him, of course, being a Cowboys fan, so I got to see how he performed. He is very athletic. He's very smart, can get open and down the seam. I love what he can bring to us, and I'm hoping we sign him long-term, but we'll see how that plays out. Now, my top 6 tight ends for Dynasty. Number 6, I've got TJ Hockenson. Look, TJ Hockenson is a beast. He did have some injury concerns. Nothing super, super concerning, but just a little bit that kind of had him out. I think the fact that what Detroit's trying to do is turn that team into a little bit more of a passing team. Obviously, you got a great running back in DeAndre Swift. You still got Jamal Williams back there. You've got TJ Hockenson, who's a great weapon. Amon St. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to be a good option. And of course, Jameson Williams whenever he comes back from his injury. So those are going to be some options that obviously Jared Goff and whoever the future quarterback is going to be. So the only concern with obviously TJ Hockenson is who's the quarterback in year 2, 3, 4 from now, right? That's going to be a little bit of a difference. But I think with his talent and what he can do, he is definitely in the top tier category. He's absolutely number 6. Number 5, got Darren Waller. A lot has to do with his age. Obviously, he was hurt. There's going to be a lot of factors that play into that. Other than that, redraft, he's probably one of your top 2 to 3. Dynasty, I have a little bit lower just because of the fact that you're thinking not just winning now, but what can this team look like in the next 3 years or so on your roster. So Darren Waller's definitely at number 5. I think the addition of Devontae Adams doesn't change a whole lot. It is going to affect his red zone, I believe, because I think Devontae Adams is still a red zone beast. And you still obviously have Renfrow on the outside, who's always going to be open. That's just his mantra. So we'll see how things really play out, but I like Darren Waller in this offense, and he's still going to be one of Derek Carr's favorite receivers. George Kittle at number 4. No brainer, because once I talk about the number 3 and 2 and 1, you'll see why. But George Kittle at number 4 is definitely there. He was number 4 in fantasy points last year. Makes sense. He has had injury concerns in the past. He is super excited about Trey Lance, which I think is what I love about this factor, that obviously you got Deebo Samuel, who's still there. Hopefully, we'll see how that goes. But he loves what he's seeing from Trey Lance. Obviously, you still got Jimmy G in the back, kind of creeping around Trey Lance and kind of seeing what's going to happen with this roster and see where he goes. Obviously, with the signing of Baker or trading of Baker Mayfield might get Jimmy G out there, but George Kittle absolutely number 4, hands down one of the top 2 to 3, if not 4, obviously in this case, but top 2 to 3 in redraft for sure. Number 3, Travis Kelce. I almost want to put him higher. Again, age plays a factor in this, but Travis Kelce is definitely going to be solid for the next 3 or 4 years for your dynasty leagues, and he is obviously going to be the number 1 option for Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes obviously has a lot of new weapons. I think the only other returning weapon is really Mecole Hardman. So he's got Valdez Scantling. You got obviously, Sky Moore. That's an option, right? Juju, there's a lot, right? There's a lot that's changing. So the only inconsistent really option for Patrick Mahomes is going to be Travis Kelce, and he is definitely the guy. So number 3 is where I have him. Number 2, I have Mark Andrews. Now, Mark Andrews obviously really performed well, super well when Huntley was not so much with Lamar. I think a lot of it is, I think Lamar was trying to, he just opens up the playbook a little differently, right, than Huntley did. But still, number 2, still a little bit younger. He is the number 1 option. I think with Rashad Bateman now being wide receiver 1, I think now puts Mark Andrews as the wide receiver 1. Bateman's going to be number 2 as far as an option goes. So you're going to see a lot of targets. You can see anywhere from 100 to 120 targets his way. And he's the type of tight end that can get 100 balls his way, especially if you're in a tight end premium league. You're going to absolutely drool over having Mark Andrews on your team. And number 1, Kyle Pitts. Now, Kyle Pitts, obviously, there's still concern with the fact that this is a second year. He did perform well. Only 1 touchdown last year, which is amazing how he only got 1. And that was with Matt Ryan. Now you've got Marcus Mariota. You've got Desmond Ridder, who possibly could be the quarterback in the next couple of years. So it does play a factor, but I like the signing of Drake London, or the draft of Drake London. I like Bryan Edwards coming in. So you've got a lot of tall, good, solid options, and I think his red zone option is going to increase. There's no way he's just going to have 1 touchdown a year. I think he's going to be that 4 to 5, and maybe have a couple of years where he's in double digits. So for me, Kyle Pitts is absolutely number 1. There's no reason not to get him number 1 in your dynasty. There's just, again, no reason. All right. So these are my top 12 dynasty rankings for the tight end position. If you guys have not checked out our other videos, make sure you guys check out the running back, wide receiver, and quarterback ranking videos. Again, this is to help you with your dynasty. This is to help you get ready for this season, your future season. Maybe you're doing startups right now. Whatever it is, I want to make sure you guys check out those other ranking videos so that way you guys are prepared for your fantasy. We want you to be the expert in your league. We want you to be the guy winning and girl winning, okay? So make sure you guys are checking that out. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell is on. And of course, always hit the like button. It is greatly appreciated. You guys are awesome. If you guys do have questions, or maybe you disagree with this ranking, you want to put some of your own rankings down there, hit us up in the comments. Of course, you can follow us on the socials. We're on Twitter and Instagram as well. Follow us with any news and updates as fantasy goes. And we are, again, getting closer and closer. All right? So I'll check you guys out next time.